isn't me if it isn't you. How you guys doing today? Welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts today. So today we are missing Big Rob. He's handling some personal business. So it'll just be me. That's messed up, bro. Just be me and the Don. Don Fettuccine. Show your face.
Right here. Hey, guys. How are you?
Rocco, man.
Yes.
How's your weekend?
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
A lot of pasta, a lot of pizza.
Yeah.
A lot of crypto.
I was telling Rocco a funny story. So both my kids are into soccer, and my wife was like, hey, I signed the kids up. There's this like free goalkeeper camp. This goalie, I guess he played for Italy. Buffon. I'm like, who?
No.
She's like,
bad.
Buffon. I'm like,
no, the Buffon.
Buffon?
Best
So, all
goalie on the
weekend.
world. No, man.
All weekend, Rocco. I was waiting to come in here and tell you.
No way. Buffon, no.
Bad news.
Okay, Buffon, you're good. Don't worry.
He's definitely not a buffoon. He's the best goalie, I believe, ever. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us. It'll just be me today. On today's show, we're discussing a multitude of things. We're going to take a look into macro, credit, and debt. What does that mean for liquidity in the crypto markets? We also have some funny stuff to show you. We're also going to be covering a new upgrade coming to Radix. So we have their CEO joining us. Speaking of Radix, by the way, they're a channel sponsor, so shout out to them. Today's show is partly brought to you by them, the top layer 1 DeFi. We'll be discussing the Babylon upgrade with their CEO on Wednesday. Also today, I'm going to be sharing with you a cool new feature that'll be coming with the Babylon upgrade to the Radix protocol. We'll be discussing that. Also, we'll be discussing, what else are we discussing? We're discussing a lot of things. Citibank. Citibank is entering, and Europe versus the USA. Who is winning? Who will win? And what does that mean? And also, guys, today's show is also brought to you by Cam's Blue Wire Technology, our only network and IT sponsor we have here. If you own a business and you want to maximize your networking, IT, and your cybersecurity, we know how important that is. Company could lose a lot of money if that is not at the top of your priorities. But if you just don't know how to do it, if you want to save money, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Now, speaking of videos,
What you got?
just because Rob's not here to laugh with me, Rocco, you're going to laugh with me.
It depends.
I'm holding you hostage.
Well,
okay?
it depends on the hit.
Also, I need a favor from the chat. I'm not a rambler. I don't like to ramble, but guess what? We're going to do this thing together today. Throw some questions in there, have conversations in there. I will randomly pick some. We'll discuss it throughout the show. Let's make this a community show today. I'm excited. Rocco's excited. And this guy is also excited. Rocco, cue up the laptop, baby.
I'm already afraid of it.
This man is very excited. I'm assuming one of his teams won, and oh my God, I'm gonna go jump in the pool, and I forgot to.
No, man. Hey, but what they watching the game in an empty? What is
That's a good question. Yeah,
the warehouse. What is it?
It's a dance floor. You know, they dance.
Okay.
They want to dance.
Yes. Well.
Anyways, that's pretty good. Also, we have this. Takes me back to my wedding days.
That's the best.
Have you seen this?
No.
You haven't seen this?
No, this one I don't. I did not. I'm gonna kill the music just in case. Oh, there we go. That's the Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Like, I feel like bro should have done some stretches before. You know, like, bro, make sure you can clear the head before you knock out your bride on her wedding day.
It was Kung Fu Panda.
You know what yeah, did you hear the song? Everybody was Kung Fu fighting. All right. Then we have this. We're good on the sound on this one. So
No sound?
no, we're good on the
okay,
sound.
okay.
No copyrighted music on this one. And you know, it's just you and your buddies.
What a fucking night. Get your keys. Get your keys. Get your keys. You got a piece of cutter. Fucking perfect.
Wow.
So a lot is happening. He said, "Get your keys," and the guy's got a pizza cutter. And then we have homeboy.
Fucking perfect.
Wow, that was an
All of
experience.
a sudden, everyone's
I
sober.
like how their friend helped him out, you know. That's support.
Well, one
right?
guy was mad because his beer was dropped, you know?
Yeah.
And here we go. So, you know these relay things they have at, like, soccer games? I feel like they set this man up for failure, man. I mean, just take a look at what all is, like, he's got to climb up this thing.
Oh, again. Jeez.
By the way, This is a 2-minute video. I'm not going to show the whole 2 minutes.
Thanks God.
But yeah, I mean, look, I would have done the same thing. What this guy ends up doing, he says, you know what? Screw this, man. I'm just going to go ahead and just walk right around. He kind of looks like Ron Jeremy a little bit, you know? You know who Ron Jeremy is, Robin? Or Rocco?
No, I don't know.
Then never mind.
Oh, he tried to give it a tool to fight.
Yeah,
He said,
he's
"Screw
like,
that. That's gonna come and jump on you."
yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it from here. I just
what
had
is
to.
It's some sort of, I don't know. The guy's supposed to fail?
He's supposed to knock the guy.
No way. This guy is gonna hurt himself.
Okay,
The-
I'm done with it.
Oh, the guy. Okay,
He
but the
fell.
guy, no, he didn't hurt him. The other one jumped instead. I mean, it was cool. It's okay. It looked good. It looked good.
True Ducal said, I just interrupted my wife's meeting with laughter. That's what we're here for, my friend. To get you in trouble by your wife. So Rocco,
Yes.
here's interesting.
Yeah. What is?
How are unicorns fake, but giraffes are real? Like, what's more believable? A horse with a horn or a leopard moose camel with a 40-foot neck? You ever think about that? Like giraffes?
I'm
just weird.
speechless. I don't know.
Yeah.
What to say?
Yeah. So did you hear about that fighter jet that got lost?
Yes, it's very common.
Very common. Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
You know. Yeah.
So this is one of my favorite accounts to follow. Douglas Bonaparte. Funny guy. Bad news. We can't find an $80 million stealth fighter jet. Good news. Our stealth technology is very good.
It's very stealthy. No, but you know what is funny? Actually, Elon reply about this one. It's you know, for somebody that put stuff in space, it's he can lose it. I mean, it's doesn't make sense.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently, some of the electronics weren't working in there, but the autopilot was still good.
They are triple safe feature in their things. You know, it's not gonna just disappear. You know, of course, it's a cover story. And then
You think
can
so?
say whatever. Yeah,
You going conspiracy on this one?
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just funny
Just
to me.
imagine if something really happened. They're gonna tell you, oh, okay, it's been I don't know, something to put the things down.
Yeah.
They're gonna tell you in the major news. I don't think so. They're gonna panic everybody. No.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a lot of weird things happening. It's hard not to be conspiracy theorists,
No.
especially when there's been a lot of conspiracies that have been proven true over the years.
It's-
We also have so out of the funny into the not so funny, but some serious stuff. So this was an interesting tweet by Duo9 at DU09BTC. That's their Twitter handle. We talk about liquidity, and Rob talks about this all the time, and he's 100% right. We're not going to get a bull market until there's fresh capital entering the space, right?
Mhm.
There's no point in supply shrinking and the halving if there's no demand to follow along, right? Price does nothing when supply goes down if demand does not enter. So this is interesting, right? Back let's just call it 2-3 years ago, when interest rates were extremely low, bonds and notes and T-bills were 1%, 0.5%, 1.5%. Banks are giving you 0.25%. Money market funds weren't where they are now. Well, a place for you to get a lot of high returns was in crypto and DeFi. But now, according to this tweet, says, I do wonder if DeFi has lost its edge. U.S. Treasuries pay 5% yield on dollars. Mercedes pays 7.7% in dividends. Why exactly would anyone risk money in crypto on similar yields or less? You were able to stake Ethereum for 4 to 5%. Cardano, 3 to 4%. Solana, 6 to 7%. Add in, fill in the blank here, guys. Fill in the blank. Obviously, the ones where you get to that 20, 25, 30% stable coins, we saw what happened with those. I would not put my money in those. But some of the other ones, staking Polygon, staking Ethereum, Cardano, whatever the case may be, you're able to earn interest, right? Staking rewards. I don't want to call it interest because it's not a security. And now, and I understand you and I watching, right? We don't view U.S. debt as safe or as risk-free. But guess what? Traditional banks do. Hedge funds do. VC companies do, right? Portfolio managers do. And so that is where all the money is going. If I can park my money in a 90-day T-bill and earn 5% on an annual basis, why take the risk? Because if the U.S. government defaults on their debt, I'm pretty sure the rest of the markets are all going to get, I don't want to say wiped out, but it's not going to be good. And so that is another reason for me why it's so hard to say that, that cycles are going to continue. Can we be in a bear market for another year and a half, 2 years? I know I've previously said we're in a bull market. Just the liquidity is not there. The liquidity on the market maker side is not there. The liquidity from retail is not there. But there is one thing that can bring in a mass amount of liquidity, and that is a spot ETF. That is why we make such a big deal about it on the show. And I can't for the life of me understand the people that write off a spot ETF like it's nothing. Guys, futures ETF, okay? $1 billion in a day. In a day. Relate that over to a spot ETF where they actually have to go out and buy that $1 billion worth of Bitcoin.
I'm glad you can specify the difference between the spot ETF and the regular ETF. I mean, people don't really understand why it's a big deal. So that's actually a good thing that you just explained it.
It's a massive deal. Here's, and I'll just real quick. I am by no means an ETF expert, but I understand how they work. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as people are buying and selling a spot ETF, on Friday, the fund manager, let's say BlackRock, has to go out and say, okay, there was a net positive of $2 billion in inflows into this ETF. That's the net inflow. Now they have to go out and buy and make sure they have $2 billion worth of Bitcoin that is underlying the ETF asset. And that happens every single week. Now, of course, if it's a net negative, they can go sell off and rebalance. But we all know at the end of the day, institutions have been waiting for regulatory clarity, and a spot ETF approval is that clarity that they need.
So you really think the ACC approving all 7 or 8 applications at once make more sense than just go one by one to kind of allow more competition in the market?
Well, here's the thing. The next big one is October 16th and 17th, which is a majority of the ETF. So if they come in and they approve one over the other, which I highly, highly doubt, they're going to approve. I think they're going to approve them all at the same time. They're going to say, okay, fine, we're going to approve them. Bam, first to market. Because if they don't, I mean, you're essentially picking winners here. Whoever's off to the races first, whoever gets off the starting line first, whether it be BlackRock or Van Eck or ARK shares or whatever, or Grayscale, they are going to have the mass advantage. And then it's going to come down to, well, how much are you charging fees in your ETF? And that is the beauty of competition. BlackRock already came out and said they're looking at 0.65%. Just to put in perspective, GBTC right now is over 2% fees. We're looking at coming down to 0.65%. And as these companies try to track some of that liquidity, they might drop it to 0.5%, 0.3%, 0.2%, and who knows where it goes from there.
And they still have to buy all this Bitcoin on the market. So there's
we got to assume some of it.
Shock somehow, no?
Yeah, we got to assume some of it's going to be OTC. Some might be market buys. Who knows what that's going to look like? All we know is that liquidity will be here. Now we just need the supply start shrinking, which we know the halving will do. Moving on to a little bit of more macro. So this was some scary news that happened last week. So the United Auto Workers, I believe, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong, it's Redman, it's October 16th and 17th, not the 19th. And we're talking about the spot ETF, the next deadline. So I believe it is the largest auto union in the country. I believe 140 or 160,000 employees. They're going on strike. They want more money. So this is from the Kobe AC letter. American workers are now striking at some of the highest levels on record. Last month alone, large stoppages from strikes resulted in 4.1 million missed days of work. This is by far the largest volume of work stoppages since August of 2000. 2000. So 23 years. Mm-hmm. This is the largest volume of work stoppages. If that doesn't tell you that the workers have the leverage versus the company, I don't know what will. Which, when it comes to inflation, is not necessarily a good thing. I know that sounds really effed up to say on my part, but I'm telling you, if workers are asking for more money and the companies can't just go out and replace them by hiring more people, guess what that means? That means everything becomes more expensive for the consumer. So although you're making more money, you're spending more money because everything goes up in price. That is the thing. They will never take money out of their own pockets to pay for these wage increases. They will just trickle that down into the economy, into the consumer, and the people at the bottom of that pyramid are going to end up paying the cost of these new deals for the workers. I'm not saying people don't deserve raises. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, what are the implications? What is it going to look like? The UAW, so the United Auto Workers strike kicks off. We're on track for an all-time record of workdays lost to strikes in 2023. People are feeling the pain of inflation and want higher wages. What happened to inflation is transitory. Guys, this is going to make inflation much, much worse. You got to figure if cars stop being produced, right? Supply and demand, this is basic across the board. If supply starts to go away, but the demand for cars is still there, price go up. Not good. Also, we know the interest rates are higher. It's a messed up situation, man. The economy is messed up, but guess what? We have an outlet, and that outlet is cryptocurrency.
I think one of the problem is that this number, the PCI number and everything else, they're coming out. They are not the reality of the situation, because if you really adjust the cost of living with your salary and gradually, you don't have to wait 23 years to now increment the salary. There's going to be a problem.
Yeah,
it's always about the top and the bottom. The people on top don't doing the right things, and now 23 years later, that's going to be a catastrophe.
And guys, why do we share this? Not to scare you, but to arm you with information.
Yeah.
And so you can make the best decision for your family and your future as you possibly can. I know some of this stuff does get depressing. Trust me, I do my research and I'm just like, oh, God, this looks bad. But it is what it is. We don't have the power to change it, right? As individuals. So what do? We get the information, we sit down, we have a game plan. At least we know we can start to extrapolate what kind of ripple effects these issues might have on our futures and how we can, leverage ourselves or hedge ourselves against whatever's going on the macro side. And this is the most alarming. Okay, so we always talk about national debt, right? We always throw numbers out there, 32 trillion, blah, blah, blah. But this chart is the first one. This is tweeted this made its rounds, but I pulled this one from Anthony Pompliano. Look at this. This looks very scary. Look at this, Rocco.
Yeah.
Look at the revenue in the green just tanking, the deficit growing, and debt is like a mess. It's like the iceberg that sank Titanic.
That's not sustainable at all. That's going to be just a time bomb. There is nothing you can do about it. It just makes no sense. You make 10 and you spend 20. After a while, you're going to be down. You cannot going to be able to pay it back.
Yep.
No matter what you do. I mean, there is nothing, no math.
We are never going to pay that.
There is no way.
Unless
there is a major reset, which is, I don't know.
I think nuclear
war. Yeah,
my opinion, war is the only
in history is where it always has been. War to reset everything, economy, start all over. But
guys, I want to point out there is two ways for the U.S. to combat this. One, print more money. Bad for inflation. Two, debase and devalue your currency so the debt is worth less. Also bad due to inflation. Inflation is sticking around. It is not going anywhere, guys. So I was at the gas station yesterday and I tweeted this out on Friday, but my wife knows. She's like, when did gas get over $5.30 again? I was like, this is it. Oil is going up. We talked about this on Friday. Oil is now over $90 a barrel. The U.S. government continues to buy oil to fill their strategic petroleum reserves. OPEC is cutting back another 1 million barrels of oil a day. And this is just the situation we're in, guys. It is what it is. The governments are going to continue to pile on debt, especially here in the U.S. That is why it's so important to hedge against currency debasement. And the two best places, in my opinion, are going to be gold, silver, precious metals, and of course, Bitcoin. That is my number one.
What about the theory to have pretty much walk away from the printing, but with replacing with the digital dollar, which will be a next strategy where you're going to be obligated to accept it globally. So that's kind of
good luck with that. Good luck with that. That would take would take a lot of people working together on a global scale, which our own politicians here in the U.S. can't even work together. So have fun with that. Also, this was pretty cool. This is from the Rational Root on Twitter, nearing an all-time high in long-term holder supply. So this is Bitcoin long-term holders, 75%. Look at this. So every market top, you see a big dip in long-term holder supply. Same thing happened with this last market top. But when we had our double top here, and I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, we had a top here and then a double top here. We didn't shrink like we did in the last few tops. We can see here, massive dip, massive dip, massive dip. And then the double top, a little bounce. And then we've been climbing ever since. People understand that Bitcoin is an outlet. I know I sound like a freaking Bitcoin maxi here, but Bitcoin is an outlet. It might be your only outlet. And that is why people are realizing you are not taking my Bitcoin. That is why I came out and said, I will not be selling my Bitcoin ever. Ever. I know it sounds crazy. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to take profits on my investments. I have a separate bucket of investments, mostly altcoins, well, actually all altcoins, that I will take profit and move money around. But the Bitcoin that I'm saving in for long term, that is never being sold for dollars, for fiat. That is my exit. That is my hedge against the governments and monetary debasement and currency debasement more specifically. And that is what I'm doing. Guys, let me know what you think about this chart. Do you think this thing is going to grow? Do you think we're going to see 80%? How crazy would that be? 80% of long-term holders. There's only so much Bitcoin to go around. You know what? I was going to share this, but maybe we'll do it at the end of the show. This was pretty cool. And so, thanks to Rocco for sharing this one.
Yeah,
but
it's fun. Yeah.
This kind of shows a chart of Bitcoin since its inception. And, people always say up and to the right, up and to the right. And well, here we go, up and to the right.
And in the meantime, I'm going to just say thanks everybody there on the chat, supporting the channel. Big shout out to the moderator also. They're making an amazing work to also keep the Discord. If you guys want to keep the conversation going, please check out the Discord too. And also, I want to give a big hola so David can take a little break to everybody in the chat. So we have a Jimmy, Indie Rock Crypto, hola. And then we have a SDS WAG 21. I'm almost better as Robin on the name.
Bro.
Through Dukel. But I got at least I got an escape route, which is my accent. So,
Bro, you
Mike,
are.
Let's smack to everybody. Hola.
For someone, Rocco, who, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but English is your second language, right?
Yeah, second probably. I don't know if the third.
For someone who English is your second or third language, that's better than a guy, Robin, who's living in the States his whole life.
He speaks Portuguese. A feijoada, tudo. Yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, let's move on to the markets. And today's market segment is brought to you by channel sponsor I Trust Capital. If you want to save for retirement, you want to enjoy those gains, tax-free in retirement, well, because we can assume taxes are probably going to be higher in the future. Well, there is one company to go with in our space, and that is I Trust Capital. If you use the link in our description to open an account, once you fund it, you will receive a free $100. So big thank you to I Trust for bringing you today's show. Now, every Monday, I'd like to tell you what's going on in macro. Can we expect some volatility? Well, we got a big event coming up on Wednesday, and that is the FOMC meeting. What will Jerome Powell and company do? Will we see a Fed rate hike, a rate pause, a rate cut? We're definitely not seeing a rate cut. What does the CME have to say, my friends? 99% we stay where we're at.
Yeah.
This was 88%. Then it was 92%. Last week we checked it was 96%. And now it is 99%. Fed rate pause. I think we're going to stay at this level for quite a while. Also, Rocco, True Dukel said it's not Dukel, it's Dukel.
Dukel.
Not Dookie either, Dukel.
So I was getting influenced by the algorithm. And I was watching a French movie last night. I watched the Walking Dead French movie. So
you lay off the movies a little bit, okay?
Yes, you do.
Guys, what do you think? Do you agree with the CME? Are we going to get a rate pause? Put a 1 for yes, put a 2 for no. 1 yes rate pause, 2 no rate pause. So if you vote 2, it can either mean a cut or a hike. My vote is 1. I think we're going to get a pause. Although inflation has been taken up, we saw the largest month-over-month increase over the last 12 months. In August, we saw inflation is back up. Again, guys, I did mention oil. Here's the oil chart, just so you guys can see. And this is on the daily. Oil has been ripping since about August 24th, where we were at $77. We are well above, well, not well above, but we're about 30 cents above $90 for barrels of oil. We know the supply is getting cut by 1 million barrels of oil per day. What does that mean? Everything gets more expensive. Gas gets more expensive. But guess who else uses gas? Semi-trucks. And what do semi-trucks do? They move supplies cross-border, right? And so everything becomes more expensive. And you know what? Now that I mentioned everything becomes more
How
expensive.
much did you spend at the gas station?
So yesterday I spent $80 to fill up my wife's tank.
That's it.
Normally I spend about 50. Terrible. All right. So this was a really, really, really cool tweet here. So shout out to Bitcoin Apex for tweeting this out. So this shows you the power of Bitcoin over time. Today, $2,650 buys 0.1 Bitcoin. $2,650 also buys the right to live in an apartment for a month in many places on Earth. For some, it's even too less. In 2044, so in about 21 years from now, the block subsidy will be right around 0.1 Bitcoin after the original amount of 50 Bitcoin per block has been halved for the 9th time. If you use that $2,650 to buy the 0.1 Bitcoin, about 20 years later, this amount is more than a full block subsidy that you would have to pay around $165,000 for today. Because today's block subsidy is about 6 point something percent or 6.5, I believe, Bitcoin. Multiply that by the price. That is where they get the 165. How many months of rent can you pay in 2044 if you save this 1 month's rent today in Bitcoin? If we extrapolate the current ratios to 2044, one could divide the $165,000 for a full block subsidy today by the $2,650 per month rent and come up with about 62.25, which is the purchasing power of the amount of time you can pay your rent for. 5 years of housing. You can spend $2,650 on a month's rent today, or you can instead save the amount of a month's rent in Bitcoin for 20 years and then pay your rent with it for the next 5 years. Of course, we're 20 years in the future. What is inflation going to look like? What is rent going to look like? Of course, it's going to be different. But what we do know is there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. We know the inflation schedule. We know the halving schedule. What we don't know is the Fed interest rate schedule. We don't know the Federal Reserve schedule. We don't know the Congress schedule. Are they going to print more money? Are they going to sign more bills? Are they going to give people more stimulus check? Are we going to have CBDCs? Those we don't know, but Bitcoin we know. That is the beauty of it. We understand how it works. You can actually make plans, right? Of course, this is assuming the price of Bitcoin is going to continue to go up and to the right, which I believe it will, as it gains mass adoption, as more people start to use it, as the network becomes more decentralized. So that was really cool. And that is part of the reason why I say on the show, and I'll continue to say it, Bitcoin, my savings is no longer in US dollars. I will have some money in there to pay for car breaks down, emergency fund, but my long-term savings are going to be in Bitcoin and precious metals.
How much was it? Was it $2,600, right?
$2,650.
So you can pretty much this year like $200 a month if you don't want to use it, if you don't have the money all
year,
for about a year.
For about a year. Well, this is assuming Bitcoin's price is at 26.5.
Okay.
So it just says buy 0.1 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
A tenth of a Bitcoin if you buy it and hold it for the next 20 years. Once the block subsidy matches that 0.1, dollar terms today versus dollar terms.
How long do you think it's going to take before we start to kind of, instead to count money in dollar or whatever foreign currency, before we start to talking about, okay,
Satoshis?
I spend, in Satoshi, how much did it cost? 0.01 Satoshi, whatever.
I don't know. That's a good
How long
question.
is going to take? Like 20 years, 40 years, 100 years?
That's a really good question, man. I don't know.
Because
I really don't know the answer to that question.
Because I give you an example. When I was in Italy in 2000, we changed completely. We went from lira to euro.
Yeah.
It was a process. It lasted about 2 years, and it was very complicated. And the shock was major because people didn't know how to use it. They rounded number, and of course, a lot of companies made a ton of money.
Of course.
When it was time to do the math for the salary, they translate the amount of money exactly for the hour you were working and then how much you were making. But when you went to, let's say, get a coffee, before was 1,200 lira, and now you pay €1.50. So they just rounded, of course, not for defect, but the way up. So it was everything way more expensive. But people eventually now they think in everything in euro. They forgot the lira. It's only been 20 years, 23 years actually.
But
Yeah,
but Rocco, here's the issue though. You had how many countries are in the EU? About 31, 26,
yeah. When we
29.
started, I think they were I don't remember.
So you have an entire continent that now agreed to get on this new standard, which is the euro versus having their own native currency. What is that going to look like on Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin even meant for that, right? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. It's a very intriguing question. I want to so Leroy in the chat said in 1980 the 30-year fixed rate was 18%. Yeah. But if you look at the 80s versus now, when you look at percentage wise of how much people are spending on mortgage or rent and percentage wise to how much money they make, it is way off kilter. It was around 18 to 20% of your income you were spending on mortgage or rent. That included the interest rates being at 18% versus now you're spending over a quarter of your income. So that's what we got to look at. We got to look at relative to what it was versus what it is now. I do want to share this as well from Coin Market Calendar, just to kind of show you what some of your favorite token projects are doing. Chili's is hosting a Twitter Spaces today at 1500 CEST. Not sure what the hell time zone that is, but there you go. There is an event happening in Toronto. So if you are in the area, that starts today and goes through the 21st. That is in Toronto. There's also one in Europe as well from the 19th to the 20th. Excuse me. This is very interesting. Real World Asset Summit. So I'm going to click on this just to kind of see. By the way, guys, if you want to use this resource for yourself, it's coinmarketcal.com. And I'll kind of make this bigger. So right here, coinmarketcal.com. You can filter in by top 100 coins, and you can click on source and proof just to verify yourself. So real world asset, right? RWA, you're going to see that acronym a lot. And that is what a lot of economists, what a lot of hedge funds, what a lot of big companies are saying we're going to see the implementation of blockchain in. It's real world assets, whether that is government debt, whether that is paying taxes, whether that is, DMV, whatever the case may be, tokenizing assets. And we are going to share a story from Citibank in regard to that. So they're having a summit, and you're going to see more and more of this. So get used to seeing RWA, get used to hearing real world assets, and we need to identify which blockchains are going to be servicing these real world asset tokenizations. Avalanche, Solana, Polygon, Ethereum. One thing that doesn't really, I don't want to say bugs me, but one thing one project that I'm really fond of that we don't ever hear thrown into this mix is Cardano, right? And so I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. I'm not saying I'm not bullish on Cardano. I am bullish on Cardano, but it never gets mentioned in these big real world use cases. Maybe that's a good thing. Who knows? Share your thoughts. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? Is that a good thing for Cardano just to completely stay away? We can have a crypto-centric blockchain that doesn't mess with traditional finance, or is it a negative? Is it a negative look on them? Is it a bad look that, hey, you guys are not even being considered? So, Philippine blockchain that is happening from the 19th. What else we got? Pragma, New York. Flow, fireside chat, man, Flow. So I was pretty bullish on Flow. This was prior to the NFT market just completely nuking. Not saying Flow is dead, but Flow could potentially be, if the NFT market comes back and if Dapper Labs continues to grow and that ecosystem grows, you're looking at an all-time high of about $45. And we're talking at Flow is at 45 cents.
You doubt the NFT market is going to come back?
I don't know.
Really?
I think it'll come back, but not in the form that it left.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's probably going to be, an evolution form of the NFT, not like we saw before, just picture and stuff. Maybe more ability, more serious if you want it, more real life utility, more than everything else.
I think we can all agree the technology behind NFTs, non-fungibility and tokens and what it could do. I think profile pictures and having games and mutant serums and all that, I think is just the Trojan horse, right? Because the NFT technology, the technology of blockchain and fungibility or non-fungibility, I think can have such a massive impact on on businesses, companies, and industries that are like so much more important than profile picks, right? Or collectibles. So will Flow nab a piece of that pie? I don't know. But all I know is from now to just the last all-time high, not even making a new all-time high, just get back to $40. You're looking at 100x. And this is from a top 60 project. But yeah, Redman said Flow was supposed to power NFTs on Instagram. They were. That pilot kind of went away for Instagram. So I don't know, man. Who knows? All right. Also, Avalanche is getting a delisting on OKX, but don't fear, it's not the Avalanche Tether or Avalanche USD. It's the Avalanche Ethereum trading pair. And that is one thing. And this kind of brings me to a point, guys. And I want you to, when you see stuff on Twitter and when you hear people report on things, this is so easy to sit here and say, to create a headline, to create fear. This would be FUD, okay? This is my idea of FUD. Oh my God, Avalanche is getting delisted on OKX. Oh my God, what is happening? It's true, but if you don't provide enough context, it sounds like, oh my God, Avalanche, what is going on? It's the Avalanche Ethereum trading pair, not the Avalanche USDT, not the Avalanche USD, or any other dollar-denominated pair out there, which is where most of the liquidity is. So when you see stuff like that, that is what FUD is to me. FUD is not me bringing information to you and saying, hey, this is what's going on. That's not FUD. Something like that. That example I gave you, that is FUD. So when you're out there on Twitter or when you're reading articles, always get context. Don't overreact to headlines. And so that's what we try to do here at Sin City Crypto. We try to break things down. So if you were trading AVAX ETH pair on OKX, that is being delisted in about 2 days. That is all we have for that. As far as some token unlocks, we will be incorporating this on our Monday show as well, just to kind of show you guys what's happening with tokens and inflation on some of your favorite alts. So the biggest one here I see right now is DYDX. They are having about 3.72% of their total supply being unlocked and introduced into the circulating supply. We know what that does. If the demand doesn't keep up with supply, the price will dip as there is more of the token available. Also, SUI in 11 days, they have about $3.14 million worth of their token entering into circulation. Now, that being said, let's take a look. Where are the crypto markets?
Before that, I want to just give a little love to the chat. And also, hey, make sure you guys smash the like button. What's going on? We're here for you and provide all the information we can. And also, I'm going to provide a little break to Dave.
My guy.
You can sip of water. Okay. So hit the like and drop an Ola. So let's have the Ola train going. And quick shout out to Frank C, Michael Costa, Redman, Crypto Soul 0824, Andy K, and let's see, Rusty Bot, Dans le Toujours. I'm gonna just change the name. 88 Metal Mania, and yes, and Nabil Khan. I hope I said it right. Okay, to all of you, hola. Okay,
hola.
No, that was a little too much.
Rocco, you're too nice to yell at people for the like button,
Too nice.
You're too nice. You're a nice guy. How does it feel with your best friend Robin not in studio? Are you a little
kind of weird? There is this empty space. Actually, I can the space is very empty. I mean, I don't know.
Big Rob
is every day when I do the show, I look at like this because there is not enough space to move.
Because you look at Rob.
But now look, I can even move my arm.
Are you saying Rob gives you goosebumps? Is that what you're saying?
No, I say there is a space. Anyway, Big Rob. Yeah. Big space.
All right, let's take a look at crypto. Bitcoin was this thing is dumping. Bitcoin was over 27K. It was at 27,200. It is now under 27 at 26.6. Ethereum $1,635. Yeah. XRP 50 cents. Man, XRP.
What?
They're making some moves, bro.
Yeah.
Acquisitions. They're spending money. The case against the SEC. XRP Ledger, Global Payments, CBDCs.
XRP has always been working in the background, grinding, is no matter what happened, they're just moving forward. That's it.
Yeah.
They just do their stuff.
XRP for me is I want to say an easy 10x in the next bull. Which guys, 10x doesn't sound like a lot. You're talking about a top 5 crypto with a $26 billion market cap 10xing. It's pretty damn impressive. Cardano at 25 cents. Doge coming in at 6 pennies. Toncoin, guys, just be careful of Toncoin. A lot of the supply is held by the top wallets. It rings like FTX, Binance. I'm not saying I didn't say FTX because it's a scam. And I'm just saying who controls the majority of their token is the founders and the top richest wallets. We know on the BNB coin, Binance controls the majority of that. We knew with FTT, FTX, and Alameda controlled a majority of the circulating supply. So just keep that in mind. Solana rounding out the top 10. I do like this one. So I want to share this, guys, and I would use this for a little more in-depth analysis. This is CryptoRank.io. So this is their overview page. And what's cool about this one, too, is it shows you recent funding rounds, what kind of money is flowing into our space via VCs and investment, and crypto fundraising total. You can see the chart here on the right-hand side. I'll kind of make it a little bigger and move this over. So this is raised in USD volume, in the blue, the histogram, and then the green line is the number of raising funds. You can see this dates all the way back to, this is month by month, starting in September of 2022. So we were at the height of 2.4 billion. We have come all the way down. The lowest we saw was about 349 million last month. What will this month end at? We are on pace to beat last month, which is at 350 million, but still well below the amount of money that was flowing into into the crypto markets via investments from VCs. Latest funding rounds. Now, not saying that, these are ones we invest in, but just so you know, biggest funding round goes to Bubble Maps. Seed round, $3.2 million raised. And so there you go. And it also has upcoming initial DEX offerings and initial coin offerings as well. And so this is a cool resource I like to use to kind of put things on my radar. And so, of course, any resource we use, share with you guys so you guys can use the same. Again, the website is CryptoRank.io.
Cool.
That CryptoRank.io. And more sexy visual representation is a crypto bubbles. We have XEC up 12.9%. Chainlink, one of my picks going into the next bull market. Chainlink, CCIP, staking, Oracle service, connecting blockchains. Man, Chainlink is one of my favorite. I am heavily DCAing into Chainlink. I think for me, anything under $8 is a great buy. Of course, it's just my personal opinion. Do with it as you may. I know a lot of our community members are big Caspa fans. That is up 7.5%. Injective Protocol up 4%, and GMX up 5.2%. The biggest loser is Rollbit. That is down 10.2% now. I know Rollbit is kind of like Stake, where they do gambling and sports betting and stuff. So, but I did see something on Twitter. People are having a hard time. So you're able to do no KYC as you put money on, but when you pull money out, you have to KYC. So just be aware of that. Always do a test transaction when you're using a new platform. Put a little bit of money in, test the system, see if you can withdraw, see what stipulations are in place, what barriers are there, if you're willing to even.
Quick question for you, Dave.
Yeah.
So you want to DCA. Which is your best platform you're using? Because I've been using Coinbase. I've been using Gemini.
I use Coinbase, and I've said multiple times why Coinbase is my favorite exchange. It's the only publicly traded company here in the US that is an exchange, which means that every 3 months, every quarter, they have to file paperwork and show where their revenues are coming from. So everything's out in the open. They work with a massive auditing firm called Deloitte. Big players in the space. It's not some rinky-dink company that Sam Bankman-Fried was using back in 2022 or 2021. And it's just transparent. We know they're regulated. They have investors. They can't just make rash decisions because you have a fiduciary duty to the investors of your company because you're a publicly traded company. They have longevity. They've been around since 2013. I know their coin offerings aren't as robust as, let's say, KuCoin or Binance, but for me, my DCAs aren't into shitcoins. I don't call any altcoin shitcoin, but anything outside like the top 120, 150, very risky. I don't DCA into those. I DCA into top projects like Chainlink, like Solana, like Cardano, Avalanche, and those are all available on Coinbase. But when I do DCA, I do pull it out and put it on my hardware wallet. So I do have a little bit of money on Coinbase, but nothing I'm not willing to lose, which is how you should approach. As far as the stock market goes, we're pretty flat. This one is something I was looking at. 1 month relative performance. Energy sector is up 5.5%. Guys, this does include oil. If we zoom out to the 3-month, up 13%. I think next month's CPI is going to be bad.
It's been bad for the past 2 years.
No, I think it's going to be, we're going to break last month's record of 0.6% month over month gain. We're going to see over 1% month over month. I hope I'm wrong, but what's the Fed going to do? We know they're probably going to pause on this one, but what are they going to do in the next one? If CPI goes over 4.2, 4.3% year over year, man, we're going to see
a lot of
the
default.
70s and 80s again. That would not be very good. All right. Let's talk about this. U.S. personal interest payments top $500 billion as rate rises cripple households. This goes back to liquidity. We need liquidity. U.S. personal interest payments reached a record $500 billion in July. So $500 billion of people's money went to pay interest. A 80% increase since 2021. Let that sink in. $500 billion in 1 month. Consumers and citizens in the U.S. paid interest. Credit cards, car, home, personal loans, fill in the blank. So that is why when they talk about liquidity, why it's so important. If interest rates are high and people have to pay more money for their bills and gas is higher, less of that discretionary income could go into investments like Bitcoin and crypto. Hence, there's no liquidity. Majority of that money is going to pay interest, pay people's bills, put freaking food on the table, put gas in their tank. Until the Fed or until something happens, people start making more money or inflation comes down. The money supply starts to grow again, which I know sounds counterintuitive, but it is what it is. There is it's not a surprise or it's not an accident that when we had mass amounts of liquidity injected into the markets via the Fed printing money, back in 2020, we saw $3,000 to $69,000 Bitcoin. It's not a coincidence, guys. It is what it is. And right now, we are in quantitative tightening. They're shrinking the balance sheet, or at least they're trying to shrink the balance sheet. They're shrinking the money supply. But I think that's only going to last for so much time. You have banks that are still in crisis. You have the 10-year and the 30-year bond, right? Those interest rates are still high. And so at some point, the Fed's going to have to do something. We know there's no debt ceiling for the next 2 years until 2025. I don't know. All I'm saying is when that liquidity comes in, don't be stupid. When they print money and they give you money or they let you borrow money, use that money wisely. Because who knows what the next cycle is going to look like.
When you say wisely, what do you mean? Like not to spend, to model your kitchen or to take some of the money and put it in crypto? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, when liquidity comes back and borrowing becomes cheaper, and let's say they do more stimulus checks or everyone gets more money, child tax credit, put that money somewhere where you're not going to lose purchasing power with that money. Don't leave it in the bank. Don't go and buy dumb shit that you're not going to use. Treat it, and this is my personal, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm treating it like, okay, this might be the last time where we get this inflow of liquidity and money, and inflation is not going to be at 15, 20%. And the currency and my purchasing power is not going to be gone 5, 6, 7% every single year. What assets can you put that in? Precious metals, gold, silver, palladium, Bitcoin, potentially Ethereum.
I don't suggest palladium, though.
Yeah, palladium is a little, but it's considered precious metal. So
no, it is. But just, it's difficult to trade with in case, you need to.
So that's all I'm saying, guys, is have a plan ready. And this is why we bring this information. I know we talk about macro a lot, but there's a reason, because they're so interconnected, right? How people's spending habits, what they do, where the money is flowing, that is so important for the space and crypto to be able to know and position ourselves. Okay, hey, bull market's around the corner. Our liquidity is about to start coming in, guys. We're going to see prices go up. Bam, bam, bam. Us as a community, we position ourselves to be able to reap the benefit, or forget what the saying is, reap the benefits of this, the thing we saw in.
I can say in Italian, tutti quanti.
It's a quantapino.
Listen, have you watched the Tucker interview with the candidate to the presidency of the Argentine.
Oh, Javier Milei?
Have you watched the
No.
interview?
Have you watched it?
It's pretty interesting because
Okay.
Tucker went with $100 to exchange money, and they give you like a packages of money like that because of the inflation. So to buy some food, you have all this stack of worthless money, and it's interesting. Even doesn't have to be political. Just watch the. It's like a documentary. I think it's interesting. I don't think it has to do with anything with the left and right. So just awareness.
I know what Rocco's talking about is Tucker Carlson on X, Twitter.
Yeah.
Went down to Argentina, had an interview with the leading presidential candidate, Javier Milei, the guy with the crazy hair.
Yeah, crazy hair. It looks like from the
80s.
From the 1900s.
He's a Bitcoin proponent, and so I'm gonna watch that. I haven't seen it yet, but if you guys want to, you can go ahead and do that as well. And so also, the 500 billion guys. So just we got to keep our eyes on liquidity. What's the Fed gonna do? Is money gonna start piling in? Then we can really say, okay, crypto markets are bouncing back. New money's coming in. Fresh blood is here. Now, what do we do? So just keep in mind. Now, Europe. This was the theme of today's show. Europe is eating America's lunch. U.S. held back by Bitcoin ETF paralysis. This is sourced from Decrypt. In August, the continent welcomed the launch of its first exchange-traded fund, also known as an ETF, in Bitcoin spot markets. On the regulatory front, the Europeans Markets in Crypto Assets, which is also known as MiCA, which is a comprehensive framework designed around digital assets, created legal clarity for digital asset companies in the bloc. In the U.S., digital assets had a rougher season. For envious industry players in the U.S., the transatlantic contrast is proof that Europe is surging further ahead. This next quote is from Lars Christensen, the CEO of Sire Capital in Switzerland. I would say Europe is probably a bit ahead of the game. In this sense, the U.S. still has work to do. In 2022, Europe overtook the U.S. as a springboard for digital asset startups, with almost 4,000 launched versus 3,300 in the U.S. Even in funding, where the U.S. remains dominant, European startups saw a 14% increase in VC money compared to a 4% drop in the U.S. in the same time frame. For decades, U.S. regulations have been considered the less onerous of the two, whereas Europe was regarded as more bureaucratic with more stringent rules to abide by. That is no longer the case. Lowell Ness, who is a lead partner on fintech at the law firm Perkins Cole, said the U.S. securities laws are designed to be intentionally vague in a manner that differs from what he described as a more cut and dry approach in Europe. So, and then I want to piggyback on this article here. Malta updates crypto guidelines to match MiCA. What's interesting to me is all these G20 summit and G7 and G5 and G99, whatever the hell thing is. We got to get global participation on crypto. Well, once you have one country, or in this case, one continent like Europe, lay the groundwork, you have other countries that follow suit. Malta, as shown here by Blockworks. Why isn't the U.S. doing it? Why doesn't the U.S. see the opportunity of, hey, this is a burgeoning industry. We want to put our stamp on it. This is the standard. Hey, everyone out there, go adopt the standard. They chose not to do that. And instead, Europe. What's your idea? Oh, Rocco, you muted. Rocco said I'm the best host we have on the show. That's pretty much what he said, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say, yeah. No, what I'm saying is that maybe they're doing it on purpose because everybody else is going to adopt it. And then at the very end, they're going to drop on the people, say, unfortunately, we can do anything else. Now we're going to drop a digital dollar or digital version of something because this is the only alternative we have. It. Since everybody does the same, now we have an alternative and they're going to drop on the people and adopt a digital version. I don't know, the crypto or whatever they're going to adopt to manipulate people. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
I don't know. It's a.
I don't know. But
it's an interesting.
I can't believe they don't know there's this going on. It cannot be. I don't believe it. United States plans things 50 years, 100 years ahead. I don't think this is going to be.
They definitely know.
No.
They're not stupid.
No, they're not.
Guys, these people are not dumb. Let me put it to you this way. They're not stupid. Gary Gensler is not stupid. Elizabeth Warren is not stupid. Well, anyways, I'm just saying, they're not dumb. They didn't get to where they are by being stupid. They understand these are just the games they play, right? The other article said the U.S., they keep the regulatory frame, they keep it muddied. They want a big gray area so they can have the courts interpret the law in their favor. It's more beneficial for them to keep things like, well, I don't know, versus, yes, it's a security. No, it's not a security. This is a commodity. This is not a commodity. You can invest in this. You can't invest in this. That would not benefit them. What would benefit them is saying, well, if it looks like a security, then you probably don't want to list it. Well, what looks like a security? Well, it looks like one. So it is what it is. All right, let's move on to, so this was a cool thing. So we have two big guests joining us this week. Tomorrow we have Mark Yusko from Morgan Creek Capital. He's been on the show once before, and my God, if you missed that live stream with Mark last time, what an amazing show that was. He's back tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we have Pierce Ridyard, the CEO of Radix, will be joining us. The Babylon upgrade is coming up in 2 days. Going to bring a lot of cool things to the platform, one of them being personas. So we all know password managers, even on your iPhone, guys, you scan your face, it opens up your password, it just fills in. Well, what does that look like on Web3? And well, Radix has come up with a plan. Personas, the end of all or nothing website logins. So this kind of, and by the way, guys, I will actually, let me go ahead and drop the link in the chat here. That way you guys can see this if you'd like to. Rocco, if you could just pin that, please, to the top.
Yeah, I will.
So, guys, if you want to read the whole thing yourself, the beginning parts talks about some of the difficulties of the current password login. Forget what they were called. Passkeys. So then it talks about, this is what I want to focus on, what Radix's solution is. With Q2 2023 Radix Network upgrade to Babylon, one of the core features of the Radix Network and the wallet will be personas. Personas allow users to separate their online identity from the account that holds their assets, improving privacy while creating a friction-free, trustless, and permissionless Web3 login experience. Personas function by leveraging a component on the Radix ledger known as an identity. They are fully decentralized and secured by the Radix Network, not a centralized entity like storing private keys on Apple or Google servers. Here's how it works. First, the user connects to a dApp on Radix with Radix Connect. Next, the user's Radix wallet sends a special piece of cryptographic data that only the verified user of the wallet can produce. After that, the dApp to which the user is seeking to connect verifies that special piece of data against identity data on the Radix network. So just to prove, hey, is it really you? Is it not really you? Then if everything checks out, you can log in without requiring a password. And the other thing too here, guys, is only then, if an account address is necessary to use that specific application, the dApp will ask for wallet information. We know a lot of places like MetaMask now, you have to connect your wallet to these, to the dApps, to the websites. And that's how they get your information. That's how they get your wallet information. With this one, you can essentially have a fail safe in the middle, prove my identity first, and then only then, if you need the address, you can link it through the Radix app. So this is pretty cool. I'm definitely going to be asking Pierce about this on Wednesday. So excited to have him on and talk about this in more detail. Speaking of excitement, here's what I'm excited to share you guys with. So if you guys don't know, Rocco does have a merch website where he's. I know. Well, some people don't know. Some people might be new.
Yeah.
So inandoutcrypto.com. This is where we have. Wait, what is this?
It's a spin the wheel. You get a discount. Yeah,
bro.
You really gonna do it?
Hell yeah! I'm trying to win some.
Oh, yeah. No, you're gonna win. You're gonna you gotta buy stuff though.
Oh, okay. I'll buy some stuff. Hey, what do we got?
Go. Just spin the wheel. See if you got a good discount or no.
What do I get?
Let's see.
Come on, 25%, 10%. I'll take it.
Okay, you got that.
Robin would have gotten 15% though, right, Rocco?
Hey, I don't do anything that things. It's not controlled by me, man.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys.
Whatever. What do you mean? Whatever?
You'll not only find Sin City Crypto merch, but you'll find other merch as well. You can take a look here at collections. XRP, Ethereum, Cardano, SHIB. You have a summer, winter. And then I believe Rocco added something new on here too.
Yeah.
Tools.
Tools. If you go to tools, you get the books right there. And, it's something you may be interested to look into it.
I'm reading this book right now.
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
I bought one for myself too. So
There's some good books on here. I would love to add a couple on here too, Rocco.
yeah, what I was thinking to do is something in Twitter, on X, where we ask the community or other influencer, if you want to, they read some great financial book that everybody should read it. I kind of listed, and then I will go through all of them and maybe add it to the list so people can access.
That's a good idea.
I think this is nice for everybody to help out.
Yeah. Cool. And then here you can also find information on Ledger, Trezor, hardware wallets, and all of the above. Also, guys, go follow us on Twitter. We're at Sin City Crypto 1, and here is our Twitter page.
Yeah.
6,100 followers. Not bad. Not bad. Guys, everything we do on this channel is organic. I want you guys to know that. We have not spent a single dime on subscribers or Twitter followers. And we're planning on doing, that's not going to change anytime soon. So if you're not following us, go follow us on X, Sin City Crypto 1. If you want to follow us on some of our other social media platforms, all the links are in the description of this video. If you want to give a couple last shout outs to channel sponsors, Blue Wire Tech, Cam's Blue Wire Tech. If you want more information, visit bluewiretech.com. Also, big shout out to Radix, Radically Better DeFi, the top layer 1 DeFi in our space. Again, guys, tomorrow going to be a massive show. Mark Yusko will be joining us at Morgan Creek Capital. We're going to ask him about spot ETFs. We're going to ask him about liquidity. We're going to ask him about macro. We might even ask him a question you have.
Yeah.
So go to Twitter. We will post something on Twitter where you can ask Mark a question, and we will pick one question to ask Mr. Yusko. And then again, Wednesday, we will be having Pierce Ridyard from Radix joining us. With that being said, hold on real quick.
No. What are you doing?
Digital Asset DGen said, this channel is organic and not processed. Amen to that, buddy. And Jimmy said, what do you mean?
I don't know what you did.
You can't do that to our community.
No, I did it to you.
Don't do that to Digital Asset Dan.
I didn't do it to Digital Asset Dan. Yeah, tell me.
I was going to say something.
Yes, you were.
When 10K subs. How many are we away from 10K?
No, we're not that far.
We're not that far, guys. 10K is a big number for us, okay? Well, it's a big number for anyone. We're only 408 away. 408 subscribers away from 20K. Sorry, 10K.
Okay.
Share our channel, share our stream, guys. Either way, we will continue to show up every weekday, unless it's a big holiday, and then we take time to hang out with our families. But all jokes aside, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Come back tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll have Rob. He's going through some personal stuff with his health, so we love Rob. We hope he gets better. We'll give him a day off to rest. The man works extremely hard. And so if you got Rob's number, reach out to him. Make sure he's doing okay. Tell him you love him. He won't tell you he loves you back, but it's okay. But that's just what he does. And with that being said, Rocco, to all of you, thank you so much for tuning in. It was an absolute pleasure to share this beautiful Monday with you. Come back tomorrow, same place, same time. On behalf of all of us here at Sin City Crypto, we love you guys. Peace.
Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control